First, we would like to invite everyone, both in person and online, to take out your phone and participate in the poll question. Please take out your phone and scan the QR code on the screen and tell us that have you personally applied the design thinking methods in your work? Wow. I think should have some still answering. Yeah. How people are? Say 40. Anyone else? How about you, Kevin? Okay, thank you. Thank you for all your participation, and it's great to see that many of you have experience with design thinking. I'm sure we all have some insightful discussion ahead. Oh, still answering. Yes, half. So I think many people is come to learn the design. Okay. Before the workshop begins, let's invite all the guests to have a group photo session. And Kevin, Felicia, and Luke, please come to the front and look at the camera.
In the middle. Yeah.
Okay. Look at the camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, may I have your photo? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, finish. Okay.
Okay, thank you for all your cooperation. Please be seated. And let's get started with the workshop with our speakers. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kevin Hong to the stage. Con thái độ dầu hả gì con thả係咪呢度陣間
我呢度有關卡，所以
OK 冇問題，用自己都冇問題。
入邊呢個。係，show 呢度。
你拍開咗？
OK 啦。
OK。
great. Okay, welcome. My name is Kevin. I'm the founder of Alphabag. So today the topic is Innovate with Design Thinking, the secret to create smart apps that solve real problems. First thing, I would love to share the code. Life's too short to build something that nobody wants. Sorry? 咩得？
係即係照講咗之後，我幫你搞。
上翻書啊！
等佢彈咗出去。
佢收到聲。
Sorry, we are need to mute for the technical program.
應該係 OK。OK。OK， 有啊。
Right, so let's continue. So life is still sort to build something that nobody wants. So I guess there are a lot of like designers here. I think we all know this code. And so as to today's presentation, life is too short to listen to somebody that's nobody wants. A little bit introduction to myself. My name is Kevin. So my entire career is related to the startup industry. And 12 years ago, I joined a company called Divine and become their creative directors. I acquired by Google in 2014, and then it became Android for work. After that, I get to the US and then start my own venture, Ask Wonder, which is a research service, software as a service platform. And then I got mentored by the design director of Obama campaign in 2008. And then after that, I also sold this company to Innovate. Once I sold the company, I get back to Hong Kong, start my own design agency, Clinical Vision Design. And then recently, I also started my own startup called Alphabag, which I want to introduce more for you today, which is a management operation platform, creative professional. So before that, I would love to talk about the design process for the unique vision design. So what we do is we did a lot of stuff like branding, app, and web. And just like this is the application that we do. We will do some kind of UX research, risk audit, app development, web development. This is the fintech app that we do. We also do some ad tech application and branding stuff, brand strategy, brand guideline, that type of thing. And also we do marketing stuff for SEO, for paid advertising stuff. And last but not least, we also do some interior design. And then this is one of the projects in the Central Police Station in Tai Kung. But the industry is evolving. We have been working on the design industry for around a decade. And then what we think that the race of generative AI is really changing the landscape. So most of the people, like most of the companies, they will do their design work and some kind of research work in-house with the help of generated design tools. As a result, so they most likely will outsource some kind of like the harsh part or difficult part to some design agency. I feel that this is a trend. And plus, if you can see, I guess most of the people here are designers. When you want to design an app, most likely you will go for Google and then search some UI template. But take a look at that. We have already a UI for that. If you got a healthcare product, I Google for blah blah blah, I put Panda for blah blah blah. That kind of idea, you already have a UI for that. So what's the point for designer to design application in this area, in this era? So the paradigm is shifting, and the way that we start has changed. So from we do research at the very beginning, from to now on, we just open up ChatGPT, type in the prompt, say what we want. And that leads to the question is design thinking still valid? And before we talk about design thinking, we should talk about what exactly is design thinking. For design thinking, this is a term from a scholar, from a professor called John E. Arnold in 1950s. He's an engineer. At that moment, design thinking is for engineering terms, not for design terms. It's talking about how to solve problems from design perspective. It lays down the foundation of how we think about design and innovation. After that, there are numerous scholars that think about design thinking, how to try to pick design thinking to be recognized, to be a professor. So the scholar it makes the argument that there are designerly way of knowing things and a designerly way of doing things, which are distinct and as valuable as scientific knowledge or the method that engineers use to do things. So what's the meaning of designer knowing and doing things? So they did a lot of research and then to study designer to figure out how they do and what they do, and this is their application. But the problem at that moment is those mostly talk about the model, the framework, concept, but it's still a lack of process that can actually use in practice. Until a design studio for Ideal, they get it, and then they experience a different founder. Recently, this is Tim Brown, the author of Change by Design. He tried to tie down what is design thinking into 5 different processes and productize design thinking. And that's why the design thinking, we have 2 hypotheses for them. One, design has a solution for every problem in the world. And then the second thing is design can be done by all people. All we need to do to believe in design thinking and to follow the steps. So these are the 5 steps that they talk about design thinking. Emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. But this is not a linear process, and this is not a one-off. This should be an iterative process. And so we are going to talk about this. What do you mean by iterative process? The first thing is emphasize, research the real user needs. This is really similar to how a design agency normally start with the projects to define the user problem, what they really need. Sometimes the client will say, oh, I need a landing page for a product, but in fact, they may not need a landing page, maybe they just need an advertising, or they just need a student view to do the promotion. So as a designer, our job is to figure out their real needs. And the next part is to define the problem. Once we know their problem, once we know what we want to do, is the next thing is like, what is the problem statement? What is the target audience? What is the persona? We need to create about that. So in recently, so we have ChatGPT, we have great model like Cloud, Free, and Llama, and also the Mistral. So we can pretty much do this step with the help of generative AI, the model, just feed them the prompt, give them a persona, or you are a senior project manager, senior product manager, you are thinking a solution about a specific industry, what is the target audience, can they help you create some persona on that? This is how we try to define the problem. And then the next part is to ideate. So once you have the problem, so how can we solve the problem? Is it going to be used by an application interface? Is it going to be used by a physical product? Or is it just going to take a pictures or just film a short video to talk about the problem and talk about the solution? Is enough. This is the idea part. So after we define which type of idea we want to go ahead into the next step, we can start do the prototyping. So we all know Figma, that type of Webflow, Wix, that's how we have numerous design tools that help to do the prototype out there. So all you need to do is like find a tool that you are familiar with yourself, and then just quickly do some kind of dirty work, and then get the product to some tester, or maybe if you're already online the product, you can do some A/B testing, and then get the product out. Let's see the result, whether people are good for it or not. So this is the testing part. So once you're testing, you know whether your idea hypothesis they are right or wrong. So this is what they're trying to do. This is what they're trying to say in design thinking. So design thinking is a really high level and an abstract concept, but not a really technical stuff like the design sprint from Google. They have very strict rule that you need to follow some kind of step in different process in order to get outcome. Design thinking is a really abstract stuff. So they just bear in mind that just these 5 ideas, this 5 process, trying to solve the problem. So what we are thinking is like design thinking, how we can really integrate design thinking in our real world. That's why we think, oh, what if we can integrate design thinking into our product to help users to do that? One key thing that we think is really important is process. Let's say I want to design a logo. Some people charge 500 Hong Kong dollars. Some people charge maybe 500,000 Hong Kong dollars. What's the difference? we think in Alphabag, we think the difference between this type of gap is because of the process. If we can lay down a very clear process, how it goes, where it comes from, and where to go next, and then this all the process of doing things for the client will know exactly if something goes wrong, which part of the process we need to fix, which thing we need to change. Instead of we just go for one AI generated AI tools and just rely on the randomize, just put in the prompt, randomly generate the outcome, and then see whether we like it or not. If we don't like it, we have no way to trace it. In Alphabet, we want to break this rule. We want to create a process management operation to do that. So all we need to do is we just type in what you want, and then we will do the auto scoping for you. Once you do the auto scoping, you can just use AI agent, or you can use a normal practice, bring people like using community in the WhatsApp group, and then you can communicate the project. Also, you can create some operational stuff like invoicing, receive or quotation, that type of stuff based on the scope that you generate. So Alphabet in the very beginning is a project management and operation tools. And besides that, we also build around a set of utility tools around that Alphabet ecosystem to support the project management operation. So let's say for letter C, we have an app called Apologize, which is number 5 in the product count on that day. This is just a really simple tool to let people generate the color palette stuff, and then we just publish it, and it's work. Yeah, and the next thing that I want to introduce is the Alphabet deck. So this deck is one of the very early products for Alphabet. So what it do is that we have a set of cards that clean up with the keywords and the knowledge that a startup project will use. Just like if you want to do a branding project, a web project, or an app project, you just lay out the card with your client or maybe your internal teams. You just structure the project, communicate upfront, and one is communication. Once you structure out your project, all you need to do is open up your Alphabet app, just scan out all the QR codes, and then all of a sudden, all the data on your physical environment will translate into digital format. So you can manage your project and use it for operation on board. Yes, I think Alphabet is a great stuff, and I think you should get one. And we are a startup at this moment, and that's why in the very early stage, if you join the program, you will have a lot of VIP. You will be involved in our VIP list, and then you'll get a lot of new features at the first time. And plus, the last thing is we are hiring AI software engineer, digital marketing intern, and 3D interaction designer. So if you're interested, just send an email to my email, send a CV to my email, and then talk to me later. Thank you.
Okay, I think should be fine on the Zoom. It's because share screen directly to the computer. So I must need to. Maybe I send you later what's your do. I should be send the WhatsApp message for you. Right. And let me discuss later. And then thank you for Kelvin's presentation. And if you are interested for the job, please remember to send your CV to Kelvin. And then let's hear from Ms. Felicia. And thank you.
Okay, hello. Wow. I'm really happy today. This is my first time being a speaker where I'm not the only one speaking in English. Because usually everyone will be, the MC will be speaking in Cantonese, the first speaker is going to be speaking in Cantonese, and suddenly this weird girl comes up and starts speaking in English. Everyone looks at me so weird. So I'm very happy. I feel very much at home today. I feel, I understand everything gladly. Usually I understand maybe 50-70% of what the speaker is saying. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the sharing. It's really amazing sharing. Definitely sounds like a really interesting tool that a lot of people can definitely make use of. So for Kevin, his background is definitely a lot more related to, I would say, the app industry. Oh wow, surprise! Yeah, that was part of the plan. Thanks, Shadow. Make sure you did that at the right time. All right, okay, so a little bit of my own background. So I've been in the design industry for 10 plus years, definitely nothing compared to Kevin. But digital design industry itself, I entered in 2017 and I've worked with more than 500 happy clients, very grateful for each of the opportunity that each of the clients have given to me. And lately, especially after entering the world of digital design, I've really been focusing on bridging the technicalities and the creative industry, because truly I believe that as we move forward, that is how the future of the industry is going to be. And back then we always think that the industry of the technical world and creative world don't mix. There's a saying that don't ask a designer to talk to a programmer, don't ask a programmer to talk to a designer, because the way they think are so different, right? But now I do believe that this is where, everything is starting to mix. Everyone has to start to collaborate together. So a little bit about the company that I'm from. So I'm from MGB Innovation. All right, so I am from MGB Innovation. I am the creative director there, as mentioned earlier by Wendy. We are an award-winning creative interactive technology agency. These are a couple of the awards that we've won this year alone. And as also mentioned in the video, these are a couple of the services that our agency provides. So we do things like digital booth, O2O marketing, interactive motion experience, digital and web solution, AR/VR experience, and immersive 3D experience. So when I was asked by WTI to be one of the speakers for this topic, I was a little bit confused, because actually in what I do, I would say that apps would not be the majority part of it, right? So a lot of it is more about combining creativity and technology. So I wanted to make my background basically have a little bit more of a, I would say, contribution to today's topic. So today, what we're going to be talking about is utilizing interactive technology to make smarter apps. So, we will be talking about how, by incorporating these interactive technologies, where that is where my background is, will help you make smarter apps. All right. So if I'm looking at the crowd, I feel like we have a mixed age group. But I'm just wondering if anyone here, if I tell you, right, if I show you a number, say the number is 44 and then 444, would anybody here be able to guess what I'm talking about? If I say 44, 444, what do you think that is? The code? Would anybody? No? Let me give you a clue. What about this? Do you finally know what is 44444? Come on, look.
Why are you pointing?
What is 44444?
Game? Mobile game?
It's high, that's right. So if anyone remembers here, back in the days, this might just reveal my age, but oh well.
I didn't miss that.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah, Luke never saw this code before, never. But that's how you would type height. Is you click 4 4 twice, and then another 3 times. So that is 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, right? So imagine nowadays what interactive technology has done to our daily life, right? You can just go like this on a screen. You will zoom immediately, right? You don't even have to type anymore. You can just talk to your phone, and your phone will transcribe it for you. Oh, this is what you want to say, right? But back in the day, just to be able to type hi, you have to click the phone 5 times for those 2 letters hi. So first, we want to define what is interactive technology, right? Interactive technology allows user to interact with digital system in dynamic and engaging manner, and that includes input and output methods that respond to these inputs in real time. So as I mentioned, with this interactive technology, you as a user have to put an input, right? So say pressing a button, making a zoom gesture, talking to it. You have to give an input, and at real time, you'll be getting the feedback from whatever technology it is that you're using. And a couple of examples of this would be touch interface, so that I'm sure everyone is literally using it every single day. Voice recognition is getting more and more popular. And another one is gesture control. So this one is, an easy one is actually a lot of bathrooms now in the mall. They have these kind of like wave sensor on the door, in the flush area. You don't even have to touch them, just wave, and the gesture control will help you, right? So these are interactive technology and how they're making, our everyday lives easier. So a couple of the future trends in interactive technology, and I think that these are the type of technology that you really can think about and kind of think about when you are developing an app itself. And the 3 that I want to talk about would be generative AI, which Kevin kind of touched on a little bit, augmented reality, and NLP, right? So both generative AI and NLP is a subfield of artificial intelligence, but I do believe that they are quite different in a way, and the way you can use them and the way that can actually make your apps better would be a little bit different. So the first one, we want to talk about generative AI. So these are the benefits of generative AI, right? A lot of people, especially designers, writers, creators, they think that generative AI is a threat, right? But let's be real, that's where the future is heading, right? I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was talking about her daughter, who is currently already in secondary school, and she's talking about how her daughter really likes design and wants to start taking design courses. And I was thinking, actually, by the time she graduates and enter the workforce, by that time, AI is going to be pretty much taking over, right? And I was saying how we should think about it is not seeing AI as a threat, but seeing how you can collaborate with AI. Because let's be real, AI is truly not perfect. Have you seen like those AI generated pictures where the hand is literally like a part of the face, or they have like 7 fingers on the person's portrait? So think about how you can use these AI tools, becoming your own creative tools. How you can use this as your design assistants, right? Because a lot of the things that they can do are actually things that we don't really like doing by ourselves as a designer. Say like removing a background of a person's photo. Used to take maybe 5 minutes for you to be able to do that, and you have to make sure you remove every single edge of the person and make sure that they didn't lose like 3 strands of hair. But now we just, put a prompt, make it easier, make it much easier for you to actually use these tools to help you, actually visualize your ideas, actually present your ideas in real life. So these are a couple of generative AI case studies that I wanted to show you.
Oh, I have.
One second.
Because I've sent you the
I'll just go without the video, don't worry. But so these are a couple of generative AI case studies that I wanted to share with you. But this is one that actually was done by our team. And this one is we call it an AI sketch and draw. And for AI sketch and draw, basically, so the usual prompt they would usually give to the AI would be text, right? So you need to think about a keyword, and then you would use the keywords as prompt, which I'll show you later in another case study that is done by Adobe. But with this one, actually, you can sketch. So say, I'm not sure about you, but I've never been a good sketcher in my life, even though I'm in the design world. I don't really sketch very well. So when I'm trying to explain my idea sometimes, I would find it very hard to explain through my very bad sketches. So what this AI solution does is that it actually converts your idea into a drawing. So when you sketch whatever it is that you want, so say if you see this image on here, you see that this is the original sketch right here. So you can see that definitely the sketch is not anywhere near beautiful as the one that is done by the AI. But basically that is how you can actually get your ideas across much easier. And this one is the one that is done by Adobe. So of course this one is there you go. So this one of course is the usual generative AI where you would put in some keywords and you'll be able to generate the content. So you see how much easier it has made the design process. Yeah, so from your ideas in your mind, now it takes a really short time to be able to actually make that into a realization. And this is another one where it's an AI photo booth. So nowadays with AI photo booth, you get to take a photo, and then immediately this AI engine are able to automate a lot of things. They can remove the background of the photo immediately. They can generate your photo into different types of graphic. You want a watercolor style portrait, you want a digital graphic style portrait, you'll be able to do that, all of that within a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, and you'll be able to generate that from one single input of the photo. See how immediately the graphic style can change. The background, you can change the background, and all of the backgrounds are also AI generated. And all of these are done within a couple of minutes. And usually, it will take you a long time for one person to get a photo and be like, oh, can I get somebody, an illustrator, to be able to convert this into an oil painting, right? Now it's all done in seconds. All right, so moving on to the second one, augmented reality. So these are the benefits of augmented reality. It helps improve visualization for sure. It enhances the interactive user experience. It also helps with contextual information and gamification and simulations. So this is one of the case studies, and this is basically an AR app that is done by IKEA.
Hey, IKEA would like everyone to know about Place, our new augmented reality app. Built on Apple's AR, you can easily place 2-scale 3D models of IKEA furniture in your place.
So instead of having to look at a photo in a catalog or in your phone, and then try to imagine how that looks in your room, you can immediately see it. All the furniture that you want to consider buying, you'll be able to see it immediately in your room.
So that could be less of this.
Yeah.
And less of this. And probably more of this. People to make it easier for people everywhere to imagine a better place. Share this place. And this place. Try the place in your place.
Yeah, and that's one way where you can really make an app much smarter, rather than just, IKEA can just make a really easy app where you can browse through all of their catalogs, right? But what they did is they wanted the user experience to be on the next level. They wanted the people to be able to experience an app that is much smarter and has a better user experience all throughout, and that's why they include AR in their app. And another one is this one that we've done. So for this one, basically, what we've done is that we have collaborated with a 3D physical model, and instead of having to try to understand the 3D physical model by itself, you'll be able to, again, use technology of AR, and you'll be able to interact directly with the 3D model, getting all of the information that you might need, that usually will need, you'll need another salesperson to help you explain all of these. And even then, you might not be able to understand a lot of it. But with these, you're able to specifically tell, okay, which side of the building will that unit be? What kind of a view are you going to be looking at? You'll even be able to enjoy a virtual tour of what the inside of the unit might look like. All right, and then the last one is NLP, right? So NLP, of course, is known for its hands-free and convenient interaction. You have improved accessibility. You don't even have to type things. You get to talk directly to your phone. Your phone gets to understand you a lot better. You get to understand your phone a lot better, and it gives you a very intuitive user experience overall. And our sister company, AsiaBots,
可愛外表可以配合唔同公司嚟嘅 customer， 做出唔同嘅表情、動作，尤其件衫、配色，甚至係其實點解你聽得明我講嘅啫？
我聽得明係因為我有最新嘅廣東話語音對答 NLP engine， 由聽到你嘅第一句説話，我就會分析你嘅聲音。Innovate specific language model 將佢轉成言之成理嘅文字，再透過自然語嘅理解系統去理解你嘅意思，之後合成翻一段接近真人語氣嘅聲音，回應預設好嘅內容。
哇，勁喎！
睇下，我係全球第一個可以代表你同客人直接對話嘅廣東話語音機械人。公司有我幫手，其他同事就可以專心處理其他更複雜嘅問題。
除咗可以語音對答之外，可以點樣去做？
我可以透過一啲 Alphabag 企業現有嘅系統同 OT 同用戶傾完之後，可以直接處理後續工作。我之前同一間 smart home 合作，連接咗佢哋嘅大陸機械人同埋房間智能家電。如果住客想搭穿梭巴士嘅話，我會租機械人過嚟帶佢哋搭車，去到夜晚上睇戲同 我講聲，我就會自動幫佢開電視、關窗簾同埋校啲燈光。
AI 不是把那个电子就自动放在不同的功能，我哋設計中設計好啲嘅可以點樣睇？我嗰件業務中不同嘅其他體驗同時，管理上能可以精簡。因為 H 公司係咩事啊？已經廣泛應用喺香港，包括金融服務業、物業管理、公共服務。我哋希望係咩事啊？可以幫手一齊創造未來嘅香港智能。
Or another case that I'm sure a lot of you have also heard about is the recent launch of ChatGPT 4.0 or O. That you can see that now even these AI can understand you and your expression and the way you speak, whether you're saying it in an angry tone, whether you're saying it in a happy tone, they'll be able to understand you in all of these. Alright. So the last point that I want to talk about will be the benefits of interactive technology. So why is it that adding interactive technology in different types of fields, including building applications, would be beneficial for you? So these are a couple of statistics that I've pulled up that I've categorized into three main categories, which is engagement, user experience, and market differentiation. So you can see that for the session length, interactive elements can boost session length by 25%, keeping users engaged much longer. And apps with interactive features see a 200% increase in user engagement compared to non-interactive apps. So you see how even the engagement alone is improved very, very well because of using interactive technology. User experience also get a higher UX ratings by user whenever you have apps with interactive features in them. So they actually get an average improvement of 25% in user reviews, and 70% of users are more likely to recommend apps with interactive and personalized experience to others. And for market differentiation, companies have actually seen an average of 20% increase in revenue for apps that integrate interactive technologies in them. And interactive ad formats in mobile apps can boost ad revenue by 50%. So that, I think, proves how adding interactive technology truly will help you make a smarter app. That is all for me today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Felicia. And please welcome Mr. Lu and Kevin and Felicia come to the presentation then. So we will have start the panel discussion. And if you have any question want to ask Felicia or Kevin, we will open the QR code and you may scan the QR code and upload your question to us. Luke will help you to send the question for Felicia and Kevin, and they will answer you. So, Luke.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. What's the sound? So not like me, right? Kind of strange, right? Give me a hand to thank you for Calvin and Felicia for sharing their ideas. Here I'm training for the dining. I haven't saw some screens which you show for. So first of all, I know Calvin is the founder of a startup, right? Yes. Come from US and started with entrepreneurship for training and UI design, right? So from your perspective, what's your, am I right? Kind of so strange, my voice. Yes, okay. From your perspective, what deciding help you or help others, startups or smart apps, developers, any sharing about applying design thinking?
I think applying design thinking especially.
Is that okay? Is that okay for the Zoom?
Yes.
Is that okay? Sure. Right? Yeah. You use it or not? Is okay? It's okay. Up to you.
Okay, sorry. I think I only speak for special case for some early stage startup. founders. So in the very beginning, so design thinking is kind of like, as I said, this is a very high level framework. This is just like very abstract. So what we are thinking as a founder, so I feel like normally we need in a startup, we all need resources, we need people to help to execute the idea. So most likely, most of the founders when they first start high design thinking, they will just say, all right, we need to do some ideation, and we need to find a user need, and then they ask the intern or ask their employee to do this, execute the stuff. But the problem here, I feel like there is like for early stage startup founders like us, I would want to know the real problem. I would want to be the driver, to drive the company in the right direction. That's why the design thinking is a type on myself rather than a type on my people. So what I really want to do is like we just need to create something really fast. That's why from the design thinking part, I really focus on the prototyping stuff. No matter how ugly it looks, it just needs to be work. And then we just need to push out and then let the test do it.
Really?
It's like I just want to place the idea as quick as possible, try to like make it realistic and then show it to our potential customer. We just test it or some internal discussion to test whether our hypothesis is right or wrong. You know, that's why I feel like design thinking is most likely a type of myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I have another question later because I would like to ask Felicia for about because you're quite focusing on the UI design, make it relatively, right? So what you suggest the mindset changes or application for all those using design thinking tool for the UI design or UX design?
I think one of the mindset, I guess, that you should have when you're in this field, you know, whether it be UI, UX design, whether it be the creative world by itself, is I think definitely to continuously update yourself. Because I think in this industry specifically, everything moves so fast and the progress of everything is also really, really fast. That if you for 1 second stop improving yourself and stop updating the knowledge that you know about. Exactly. Oh,
okay.
That too.
Yeah,
or you will basically be missing out on everything. So the moment you stop, you become outdated. That's it. You know, you become what you know has become outdated and it has become old news already. So continuously learn, continuously update yourself in all of these information.
So luckily they join us to learn more from you, right? Okay. The second question for Kevin, before you jump into various stage of company, how to apply the design thinking. I love your term, create persona, right? Nowadays we are difficult to find the needs or deep needs from your customer. So what's your ideas to create all those demand or you supply your service to match them for a company?
Oh, I feel like at this moment, no matter in the startup world or the business world, I feel like even if you think about, we have an idea, I'm sure somewhere in the world, there must be somebody with the same idea and the same idea. So I feel like the question of the matter is like whether you can make something really quick. And then, so I feel like you say when you say matching the persona, I feel like right now from business perspective, we instead of just create a very popular application, I feel like what we should create is an ecosystem around what you're doing. That's why for Alphabag, so the central part is we want to build some project management operation platform for creative people. Around that, we want to build a set of utility tools, just like the calendar app, the survey, the board, that type of stuff. I feel like we are like serving the industry to not really to a specific persona, serving the industry for whatever persona we have. There should be a tool in our ecosystem that match your needs. And then slowly you can just maybe you're not directly our Alphabag customer, you may use our calendar app first, and then just slowly integrate into our ecosystem and become our customer. That's what I feel like we need to do business in this area. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the cards you give me for the operation and project management. So what's the idea to put all those product, or maybe in the initial stage you create such product? How you apply the design thinking?
You mean to go to market strategy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So so this is also what I'm thinking a lot about that. So I don't want to like spend 3 months or 5 months just creating a product, and then once the product is ready, oh, how about the go to market? So we probably I think that's also
Right time, right?
yeah, also apply for the design thinking stuff about the user flow, the user journey, how user discover a product, and how to bring them on board from a trial user to a paid user. So from my perspective, it's more than just some kind of Facebook or Instagram advertising. What we are thinking about is like, okay, we are collaboration tools in project management. So that should be like when we have a very high quality first batch of customer, they will just spread out, and then it's also help us to grow steadily in terms of the infrastructure of Alphabag, because we will have a chat server, project management service, and utility that we use in a high frequency. That's why for a startup for us, is like I don't want it to grow too fast. I want it to grow slowly. Take a look at what the market really is, and then twist the product, and then see whether this product is really solving a specific persona, their difficulties. I feel like this kind of go-to-market strategy, like, really suit us.
Yeah. Give this one. Would you want to try? Strange voice. It's okay. So from your.
The market doesn't like you.
Some of them saying it. Okay. When we're sharing, you get used to so-called create something new, which creative and innovation. So what's what you think is the key trends for those app developers or those digital designers to apply nowadays?
I think definitely, as I mentioned, AI is definitely a trend.
Which area specifically for digital design?
It has definitely been a keyword for the past year, and I think it continually will be the keyword. I would say definitely generative AI is definitely going to help a lot of designers in their day-to-day work. I think a lot of designers have to stop being, I guess, afraid of them. They have to start learning how to use them, how to actually be able to enhance their day-to-day activities by using these tools. Another one would definitely be customization. I think, especially with next generation, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, definitely they are really big on customized services, customized experiences. So, when designing apps and designing, and designing anything basically nowadays, I think you have to think a lot about a customized experience for a lot of these cases.
Okay. Before jumping into the question from public, I get a question related to generative AI. Because you mentioned about MGV from the company, you get so many awards.
Those awards are not generated by AI.
I'm sure.
In case you're
yeah, it's okay. But have you applied or you deeply apply the generative AI, or just blend it with your original ideas for those project or clients to get the reward or the recognition from the clients, so you get awards?
Okay, so I think also, again, as I mentioned earlier, I think at this stage, to be honest, which I don't think it's going to be in this stage for long, but a lot of the results that are generated by these so-called generative AI are actually not at the level where it is accepted commercially yet by a lot of our clients. So it's still at a level where it needs a lot of perfecting, a lot of fine-tuning. So at this moment, I would say most of the cases that we have used AI in would be more on the ideation stage. So say making mock-ups, say, kind of try to explain our ideas to client, would be in that stage. I wouldn't say that we are using it directly as a product yet, because yeah, a lot of the times the result would still be in question for by a lot of clients. Yeah.
So it's related to this question. Is there any challenges from maybe the users mentioned about your corporate user, your corporate client? Will they using the generative AI for their own design rather than use your creative ideas?
So
especially about the interactive technology. What do you think?
With interactive technology, I think I would say the threat of that is still at a minimum level, because a lot of the graphics or the creative elements that we do create are not just say one. Of course, it's not just creating static visual image, which nowadays a lot of these content generation are basically that they are creating something that is beautiful, something that is static. But with us, a lot of the content that we're creating are actually programmatic. So say we create like one of the sample that you guys can have a look out there is we create this motion gesture experience where you can generate a firework with your motion detection, right? And all of that is not just a mere simple static graphic. So that is actually an animation that is created with program and graphic combined together. So that definitely the AI is not there yet. But even then, like I said, even on the static like graphic level, not a lot of clients are thinking that it's there yet, in the sense that it's not as good as what is created by regular people.
I see. So I get another question for Calvin. He or she would like to ask, what's the exact problem you want to solve in your deck? So how big it is?
Okay. So the problem that we are solving with algorithm deck, of course, this is the communication problem. So I feel like the deck may not be eventually the answer for solving the communication problem, but that is one of our tests to the market and see whether this works or not. Speaking of whether this problem is big enough or not, I feel like when we started Alphabag, so right now everyone's talking about AI. Of course, as a software company, you need to integrate AI. But for integrating AI service, I feel like there are two different types of innovators that I think in the market. The first one's of course AI GC. You just tell the AI what you want, and then you just give out the answer with one click or with one sentences. And I feel like this is a lot of randomness inside, and I don't believe in that. I believe in the later one. What was that? It's like I feel like AI is a tool to help us auxiliary tools to help us to become a better person. That's why I do the Alphabag app. And then with the deck right now, what we are positioning, you can think about a metaphor. It's like use an iPad, and then we have the Apple Pencil. You can use the Apple Pencil to draw things, and you can use a finger to draw things. So as to the Alphabag deck, you can use our deck to pen your stuff, or you already have the process in mind. You directly enter what you need to do the process into our platform. This is the same metaphor. So I feel like the Alphabag deck right now, whether it's successful or not, it really you need to see how's the number of cells. It will tell me whether it's good or not. And we are at this moment we are in a starting point. I don't know yet. That may not true, or that may be true. I don't know yet, but I would like to use the deck to be one of the lead magnet of our marketing gimmick to try to attract our first batch of customers to do that. So imagine you have a beautifully designed a deck of cards, just like Paint-Yo putting on top in front of the decks. It just give you a sense like, oh, I know how to do startup, I know branding, I know design. It feels cool, right? At least it's something like that. So yeah, I just welcome if you guys think like have any ideas, suggestions about how we can improve the deck, just let me know.
Yeah. So could I know how many versions for this finalized product? How many prototype versions before that?
Oh, we did a lot of prototypes. So
because there are questions about related to this one. What's the balance between so you build the initial prototype to the product, let the user give you the feedback, or you try to polish the product well and get a final version to release the product?
Yeah, for me as a designer, I try to polish it.
Okay.
Just, but let's say when we decided that, also we have a QR code at the top right corner of that,
Mhm.
and then we use that we want the deck to be a pocket size. So the first thing we want to try is like, on the QR code, how long should the URL be? How many letters should the URL be in order to make the QR code as clear as possible in that very tiny size? This is one thing that we want to test. And then the second thing is like, okay, we want to create a common language for the world, for the making world. That's why we create Alphabag. So we bring up what kind of work, what kind of task, what kind of knowledge we want to put in the card. And then plus, even if like, you know that knowledge, but where does it come from? And where to go next? So we also put in, okay, let's say wireframing. Oh, you know what's wireframing? It's like some kind of laying out the information and the structure of the how the website look like, how the interface look like. Before that, okay, maybe the step is what is the user needs, what is your target audience, what problem that you're going to solve, and then the next step is you focus on you try to tackle the wireframing stuff. Once you have the wireframing stuff, the next step, what should you do? Maybe you do the prototype, you do some kind of high fidelity design, or you do mock up directly. So that's all the information we want to put on the Alphabag deck. And then we did a lot of experience. We print it out and then see, oh, is that what a user really wrote? And so we end up with thinking like Alphabag deck, we want to position it as a learning tool for amateur, and then a business tool for professional. This is the design perspective from the card. And also you can see the package for Alphabag deck. We also need to be aware about the progression cost. So we did a lot of different types of like combination of how we are going to like through the box, and then how should it like the color, where should I put it, and then where should it put that type of rainbow stuff, the printing or the right part of the deck. And we also need to think about the onboarding experience. So what happens if users scan the QR code on the physical deck? What landing page do we bring to them? So if you can see, we have an onboarding page on alphabag.com. You can see there should be, we create an animation like a screening deck, just like when you fly by the airport. The airport is screening on the iPhone, we do the same animation on that. We just want the user to be premium. So that's everything we test a lot of stuff, and then eventually we just look at our resource constraint. Oh, we have a 3D guy and we have a designer here, just let's do something beautiful. If we don't have that, we may change to another direction. Yeah, that's the story of why we do that and how we do the Alphabag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll come to question maybe for both of them. So for general practice or your best practice, how you get updates from, you know, the world is ever changing. So many new technologies, latest changes for this industry. So how you get updates?
I think how you get update or say inspiration on on the latest trends, I think it's by being very intentional. Like say, it doesn't have to be you going on a 1 hour brainstorm session or 1 hour update session, and you go through like all these websites, but it should be in your day-to-day life. Like, when you are reading the news, when you are scrolling your Instagram, when you are watching some videos on YouTube. Even by doing that, you can be very intentional with getting these informations and trends.
So what's your practice, Kevin?
Okay, so
Any habits before you brush your teeth?
so for me, to catch up with the trend, so most likely I will just browse through YouTube, the source and reels. But I mean, as a learner, as a people who do hands-on jobs for me. So if you really think you own that knowledge, most of the time I will just follow the YouTube and then, okay, how to use this LLM to generate maybe the image, how to use that. Recently, I'm just learning through AI, AutoGen, that type of like multi-agent framework. If I want to learn that, I just need to follow the tutorial and then spend some time and then to catch up on stuff. Once you know exactly, you have the hands-on experience. When you hear some new keywords and then it comes out again, you will catch it up really easy.
Okay. Another question is about maybe related to works. How to handle the criticism? especially for your design, I got two designer right here. So your client don't like your works, even colleagues don't like your works. How do you handle this? Okay, come on. Just
No,
have
I
some
think
fruit.
don't take it personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think a lot of, especially when you're dealing with clients, and I do believe that a lot of clients have very interesting taste. Yeah.
That's true.
And you try to
Amazing
explain,
answer. Yeah.
and you try to explain to them so many times that green and orange does not go together as background and text. You might not be able to see, but they
What could
insist.
be a juice? Blend it together. Okay.
Yeah, but so, yeah, don't take it personally, I think definitely defend why you think your design is good and why you think that would be the best for that specific need and specific situation. But I understand a lot of the times at the end of the day, the client is king in a way. But yeah, try to explain. Some clients, they do understand and they do listen to your explanation. Some doesn't even care. But yeah, definitely don't take it personally. It's not them against you. Sometimes it's just a different in taste. I would
Try
say.
to make it rational.
Yeah.
Yeah, rational.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say is like design for me is a rational thing. This is not art. Art is like subjective, but design is objective. So if something goes wrong in the design, there must be something wrong within the process. I'm a very rational guy. I need the process. If something goes wrong, there must be something is broken here. So we can easily go back to the process to see, let's say if you are writing a copywriting, you feel it is wrong. So we need to go back to your branding process. Like, what is your brand archetype? What is your brand persona? How did you define the persona? How can you define that type of persona that did you write that type of copywriting? I think everything if you can control the process and if you can lead your team go through a very strict process to create the outcome, whenever you feel like this is not right, you can always go back. You have a track record to see where is it go wrong. That's how I handle the design projects. Yeah.
Before we go into the conclusion, no more question right here. Is there any question on the floor right here? Further questions? More chat? Yes, please.
Kevin,
Hi.
you just said something pretty controversial, which is that design is an intellectual process as opposed to a creative process.
Oh,
So I'm just curious, like where does creativity sit within that?
okay.
Does creativity sit within that for you, or maybe?
Okay. That's
Because, like, for instance, you can have two designers that design for the same product, come up with completely different ideas that had exactly the same brief, and one can work and one cannot. So,
I feel like first, design is a business for me. It's a business. So eventually, whether this design is got accepted or not, is whether it will deliver what it wants. So I feel like, let's say two designers create the same thing. One works and one didn't.
yeah, for instance, as an example, yeah.
But maybe some of the work looks better, but it doesn't work. It look bad, and then it works. So,
Yeah, like you can have really ugly apps that solve a problem, for instance.
just think about the design, the history of app development, right? When we first come out with the iPhone 3, iPhone 4, at that moment, we're talking about skeuomorphism. Okay, we don't have any apps, that much app in the market. Maybe we need a calculator app, we need a utilities apps. And then people at that moment, they have no idea, how can I interact on a piece of single glasses? That's why and people, Apple and Google, they start working on the design guideline, human interface guideline, the Google guideline. They talk about on iOS, there's a tab bar, that should be the bottom. And Android, the tab bar, that should be at the top. They are kind of like rules that we follow in terms of design. So for me, for design product and design work, we first of all, we should hire some qualified designer following the guideline to do all the work. I suppose that should be a very basic standard on top of that. And then after that, let's say in my presentation, we have a lot of like websites like UI8, the Film Forest. When you pick a film like healthcare, maybe movie, Uber, you always have a set of like UX and the design work for that, UI design for that. So all you need to do is like to take care of what your client wants, what your project objective, and then tweak or translate the idea and then into your design. So I feel like this is really a rational product. And if you feel what creative apply on the design, I feel like the creative is going to be on the branding stuff, on maybe the hero section, the marketing stuff to make the apps look great. Just use generative AI to generate the hero image to introduce the application. But I mean, if the app itself, if you want to use it, it has to follow a basic guideline or user practice to do that. That's why I feel like it won't be any conflict about the creativity and design stuff. So yeah, that's my answer.
Any further questions? If not, before I pass it back to Wendy, any key takeaways, ladies and gentlemen, for those audience right here? For sure. Ladies first. Oh, okay.
I think
Sure.
all you guys should participate in the ACS market.
We're like, wow.
Next year.
Yeah, for 1 year. So, Felicia.
Yeah, I think just a little bit to add on what you said earlier also about like creativity and the rationale, the design, behind design. And then remember that design is form follows function. Like this is one of like the very basic of design principles, from back in the days. And design isn't about making something look pretty, of course we do want things to be aesthetically pleasing, especially when you're designing. And when you do have something that is beautiful or aesthetically pleasing, it makes it much easier to use and it increases the user experience. But remember that it has to work before you think about how it looks in a way.
Yeah. So, yeah, so conclusive ideas for all of us. Thank you. Yeah.
I have the mic. Got it.
Before we join and to our workshop, let us express our speaker and look for the panel discussion and the insightful speaking. Yeah, may we ask for your involvement to fill out the questionnaire on the screen and send us the feedback on how we did and suggest the way we could improve. And don't forget that we have MGV product demonstration at the outside. You may go to try and after complete the questionnaire. And thanks for all your participation. Thank you.
出面會有 MGV 嘅產品試玩嘅，如果有興趣嘅各位可以完成咗問卷之後出去，係啦。
哦，多謝。我哋嗰次都同阿 Vincent 嘅。好啊，係啊，係啊。
So